Ready to go?
Yup. We're recording.
Yeah, we are.
You have tuned into episode 1 of the Day Shift podcast. We have no idea how you found us, but we're glad you're here. My name is James, and I'm joined here today by Sam. In this podcast, we talk about some of life's biggest unsolved mysteries.
No, we're not. Anyways, I'm Sam. In this podcast, we talk about whatever we fancy, from moral issues, to the news, to deep dives into our life.
The podcast will be uploaded every second Saturday on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube.
We really hope you guys can take something away from each and every episode. So earlier, before the podcast, we were talking about what we talked about, and James and I were saying, do we have any plans for the summer?
Yeah, I mean, no one really wants to make plans this summer, do they? Because they're worried about the whole pandemic, whether they lose any money on anything.
Definitely. I have actually made plans though.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, so I've made a deposit, a £100 deposit for a place called GoToCo. That's the organisation I'm going with. It's basically teaching in China.
Alright.
Yeah, so we go to China and we teach primary school children English. We get a qualification at the end of it, which is good. It's called Teaching English in a Foreign Language. So that can be really helpful if you do want to go back to another country in the future and teach.
Do you know if it's going to go ahead, or because you paid the deposit? Do you get your deposit back if everything?
I really hope so. I really hope so. But it's better to lose the deposit than the £2,000 potentially that the flights could. Maybe not £1,000.
That's true.
It's really good because it's 3 months and they give you a free accommodation, which is amazing. So I don't need to pay for much, and they give you 3 meals a day.
What was the organisation called? Was it GoToCo?
Yeah, GoToCo.
I think I stumbled something similar actually in 2019 when I started uni. There was this opportunity to go to Fiji actually, but I didn't end up going because of the whole pandemic. I was going to be there. I was going to be in Fiji volunteering in the summer of 2020.
Why Fiji?
To be honest, the trailer got me. It was like a 30-second trailer, and it had like some hyped up music in the background. I was like, yeah, this is the one. But I also wanted to go somewhere a bit more exotic, and Fiji is pretty much as far as I can go from where I am right now. But I don't think I would have been teaching English like you though.
What would you have been doing?
It would have been more like helping out in after school clubs.
Ah, okay. That's still really rewarding though.
No, for sure. But I would have had to stay with the host family. I'm guessing you'd just be finding your own accommodation.
I'm not sure, to be honest. They said it really depends on where you stay. So it could be accommodation with other teachers on campus. I'm not sure if that's the correct term. At the school, anyway. Or you could be placed in a flat, which the school pays for. Or you could be placed with a host family. I'm not too sure how I'd feel about being placed with a host family. I think I'd be more comfortable with people our age.
Yeah. No,
but then again, the host family, you get to experience a whole culture. What would you rather?
Well, I mean, for Fiji, I think it would be more authentic to stay with a host family. Our experiences wouldn't be comparable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because yours is more about actually helping these kids to learn English, whereas I think my experience, although I'm helping in after school clubs, it's also a lot more about my experience.
What's the cost like?
I'm not too sure actually. I don't think it was too much. Not as much as...
Do you need to pay for... Oh, well, I suppose you've got a host family, so that will take a lot away.
Yeah, but like it's not anything glamorous. I think that they said your shower every morning is literally a bucket of cold water poured over you.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Like it's...
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was that in the trailer that made you want to go?
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I just thought this looks amazing.
Looks good.
Yeah. So you're teaching English, right? Don't you need to at least know some like basic Mandarin?
You would think so.
Have you checked up on this?
Yeah, I have. So mostly it's university students. I think it's pretty much all university students, mostly from the UK, but a lot from America. You've got some from all over the world. It's like Camp America, but less known and less established. But it still seems really, really good. I think they're actually thinking of getting camps in other places in the world now.
I feel like your teaching English thing, it's more like they want to have someone for these kids to have a conversation with.
Yeah, so they all seem really enthusiastic, the kids, from what I've heard from people who have went in the past online.
Imagine you get in and it's just like you're dealing with these second year kids who are throwing like pens across the classroom. You're like, what's going on?
Oh god, I'm hoping that's a Western thing.
I can definitely tell you, kids or students in China are a lot more strict.
Nicer.
I'm not sure about nicer.
Yeah, but hopefully
They're just more
less annoying.
Yeah, they've just been they've grown up in a different way for sure. We were speaking earlier as well about your student exchange, and weren't you thinking about going to China for there as well? So
Yeah, so that's the goal for our exchange. I've got a mandatory exchange because I'm doing international business, and we go next year for 1 or 2 semesters. I'm really hoping to go to China, but there's only one university in China.
which one?
I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. It's the one in Beijing. The one.
Come on, give it a shot.
Singyu.
All right, that was a terrible idea.
How do you say it?
It's pronounced Tsinghua University.
Tsinghua.
Yeah, it's a really prestigious university in China, top institution. But
Yeah.
I have a surprise for you actually.
What?
It's my second choice. Yeah.
Really? Okay, so we might get to sleep together.
Okay. We certainly did not talk about that.
Maybe we should.
Come on. Let's not get Monica jealous. Come on.
So it's your second choice. What's your first?
The first choice is Bocconi, University of Bocconi. It's in Italy, in Milan actually.
Why Bocconi?
Pretty much for the same reason. It's one of the best business schools in Europe and in the world. I'm actually very surprised that Strathclyde have this link with them, to be honest.
I mean, Strathclyde are an amazing business school.
Weren't
they number one
they
for
are.
economics and finance?
They are a really good business school, but I feel like they're still not fully renowned yet within the whole of UK and in Europe. Like if you ask someone in France, Strathclyde Business School, they'd be like, what is this no-name university?
That's true. To be fair, I don't know any universities in France either.
You know, that's a very good point, Sam.
I know of Bocconi now, and the one in China, because you mentioned it. And, well, when I was looking it up. And America, that's it. In Toronto.
Did you... there is one place I really want to go in Canada. Yeah.
Really? Where?
Montreal. It all started with when I was working in my retail job, and there, like for some reason, like 2 weeks in a row, there were like customers that went to my till that were from Montreal, and they came to my town for a holiday, and they told me about how great it was, and I was like, dude, this is a sign.
The university or the city?
The city.
The city.
Yeah. And also then did my own research. I was like, wow, Montreal is beautiful.
Will you apply there?
No. No,
I'm not really familiar with Canadian geography. How far north is it?
It's the French-speaking part of Canada. It's in Quebec. I really hope I've not got this wrong. I'm pretty sure it's in Quebec.
So that's near the border, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
East.
Yes.
Not southeast. I don't know.
Southeast. Yeah.
So between the one in Beijing, the university in Beijing, and Bocconi, which do you think is more prestigious?
Anywhere in Europe, they tell you Bocconi. In China, they tell you the university in Beijing for sure. Like anyone like from China or Hong Kong, they'd be like, yeah, if you get into that uni, you are like the top students in that country.
What do you think?
What do I think? Chose Bocconi as my top one. I think it would help me more in my future. Did you go to that student exchange webinar, by the way?
Yeah, so I went to the one about a month and a half ago.
Yeah. What did you make of it? Did it put you off? Did it encourage you even more?
It was exciting. Like it's like an advert, like the one you saw for Fiji, and it kind of gets me all excited.
They're like, oh, we've got all these partners,
the fact we can
look at all these cool reviews.
Yeah, definitely. I like the fact that they do have all the partners, but I don't like how you can only pick a continent instead of a specific university.
You can though. You can.
Also,
you can.
pardon?
In your in your application. Like they're not going to reject your application because you told them what uni you specifically want to get into.
Yeah, I've give a preference, but I'm not sure.
Did anything put you off?
How well that will go? The cost.
Yeah. What was it? 6 to 8K.
6 to 8 grand. Yeah, it's a lot of money.
But it's fine though because they're paying the tuition fee, so everything's good.
Yeah, it's still a lot though. I don't know how I'll afford that. Is that similar to what you pay currently in accommodation fees?
I've not actually calculated it, but it just sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Now, we've been talking about recently as well, side hustles. Now, we're doing this podcast here, of course, but do you have any other plans?
In the past, I created a YouTube channel.
Yes, I was going to say, I've done some research on you, Sam.
Yes.
And I found that you have this YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. But you don't do it anymore. But I saw you've got 5-6 videos uploaded on there, and they've all got 2-3K views.
Yeah, we did quite well.
Why did you stop?
We did quite well, and then we peaked. There's actually some videos there that I've hidden. There's about 10 videos. 5 of them I've kept, 5 of them I've hidden. That only got a few hundred views.
Wait, hold on. So you deleted the videos that you didn't get enough views on?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But that's absurd to me. That's your journey. In the future, you look back at that's what made you. We
probably will look back on it in the future and upload them again if we got big. I don't see myself going back to that right now.
So why did you delete them?
It's not beneficial to us to have them up. We are better off not having those videos uploaded than having them there. The reason is if you come across our channel, there's a 50-50 chance whether you watch one of our good videos or one of our bad videos. If you watch a bad video, then you're less likely to watch another video. If you watch a good video, then you watch another good video, hopefully. So that's why we've only got our good videos up. So we get more people watching and rewatching.
So ultimately it brings more views in.
Yeah, I actually checked YouTube Studio. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I checked it today, YouTube Analytics. And in the 3 months since we took the other 5 videos down, our weekly views have actually doubled. We've not been getting many views, maybe about 1,000 minutes watched per month since we've uploaded that. Yeah, so since we removed those videos, we've got about 1,000 a month minutes, that is. So that's double what we were getting before. It's not much, but it's decent since we've not been uploading in about 6 months.
Now, part of my research on your YouTube channel is, I believe you got invited to a local radio station.
Yeah,
is that true?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was such a good experience. We did a video on the world's smallest mountain, and we covered 4 mountains, one being in China, which was 60 centimetres tall.
Wait, so is there a world's smallest mountain then, if there's 4 of them?
So at first we thought about doing a countdown. So countdown from 10, the 10 smallest world's smallest mountains. But that didn't really work because there's no global standard. So different countries have a different standard. In the UK, I believe it's... Oh, my mind's gone blank. It's either 2,000 or 3,000 metres or feet. Must be feet. I'm not sure.
Well, how did they find the world's smallest mountain in the first place? I understand if it was the world's tallest mountain, because you can see it.
That's a good point. I've never thought about that.
Well, which one was the world's smallest? Was it the one that got you invited to the local radio station? Well,
I should say that, shouldn't I? I should say it's that one. But the one in China, it's 60 centimetres tall. So it just looks like a rock. It basically is a rock. But underneath it, the Chinese government say there's a mountain. So that's their classification for the world's smallest mountain, 60 centimetres.
Wait, so you're telling me the world's smallest mountain is underneath a rock?
Yeah.
Well, that's cheating.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Yeah, so that's why we've got Mount Witchyproof in Australia. That's the one I went in the radio station about.
Okay, so how did they actually invite you on?
So we got so much success from our world's smallest mountain video from that small community in Witchyproof, where the mountain is, that we decided to do another video specifically on the town of Witchyproof. And we got a few thousand views, which was amazing for us. Obviously, it's not millions like some YouTubers, but for our 4th or 5th video, that was amazing. So someone from ABC, Wimera, you know ABC?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she commented and said, "Hi Sam, I'd like to get in touch with you and interview you." So then we had a phone call, Monica and I. We went on the phone to the producer and we had it's probably about 25 minutes. No, it was about 15 minutes. This is at 6 a.m. for us. So during the summer, we hadn't been getting up before 11 any of the days. So that was a big shock. But we got up at 6 a.m. because they're in Australia. And he asked us a few questions. And then the very next week, we were on the radio in Australia.
Did you manage to listen to yourself?
Yeah, I've got a voice memo, actually. We could play it in the future on the show.
Alright, that's cool.
Yeah.
We've gone away and got some questions for each other, haven't we?
Yes.
Just some questions to get to know ourselves better. Would you like to start?
Okay, yeah. So my question is,
Okay.
it's a moral question, or a would you rather question. Bit of both. Would you rather get punched by a gorilla or punch a small child full force? As hard as you can, James.
You've really sent me into the deep end, haven't you? Punched by a gorilla or punch a small child?
As hard as
Do
you
I
can.
be the hero? No, of course not. What are you talking about? The child's getting it. I'm sorry.
How hard can you punch?
Not very. So it should live. It should live, right?
I hope
I
so.
mean, I shouldn't. Would I do time for it? You reckon? I mean, if you get punched by a gorilla,
you would.
you could get brain damage for a lifetime.
And if you punch a child,
It will get brain damage for a lifetime.
I suppose we're thinking about how you could strategically beat up a child, but you could hit it on its leg.
No, I think in fairness to the question, it has to be like in the face, like right in the temple. You know what I'm talking about.
So
if
what you're saying is, to be fair, Sam, I really need to punch this baby in the face.
well, it's not a baby, it's a child. I mean, okay.
Okay, this child in the face. That's better.
I think anyone our age that punches a child, you would actually deform its head. You don't think so?
Are you bragging?
No, like.
This is how strong I am.
Well, no. Have you not heard like the way you hold a baby, like when you take care of it, like the way you hold the baby's head when they're young, has an effect on like their head shape when they're older.
Is that true?
Yeah. So like if your parents didn't hold you the correct way when you were younger, you might have like a flatter head.
I don't understand that though, because when a woman is giving birth, the baby sometimes gets pulled out by the head.
Yeah, but
that's
like,
a
that's
lot
just,
of force on the head.
That's like one moment though. But like if like for 3 years straight or 2 years straight, you hold your baby or you just place them on like a table whilst you go like wash the dishes, then that might have a long-term effect on the shape of your kid's head when they grow up.
I did not know that. That's really interesting.
So for everyone watching, if you look in the mirror for a second and you have a flat head, you should probably speak to your parents.
I was the fourth child, so I think my mum and dad got it right. By
Alright.
me, my head's quite round.
So I guess what you're saying is then if you lined up you and your siblings, because your parents would have naturally got better at parenting, you would have the best head shape in comparison to your siblings, and then it would just naturally get worse.
I mean, I've got the best everything out of my siblings. But yeah.
Alright.
Do you have any siblings? You've got one, don't you?
I do. I have two sisters, two older sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the age difference?
Oh god. My oldest sister is 8 years older than me, and
Okay.
my other sister is 6 years older than me. So yeah.
I think your sister keeps getting recommended to me on LinkedIn.
Which one?
Did your sister do marketing or something at Strathclyde?
No.
Oh.
She didn't go to Strathclyde.
Did any of them go to Strathclyde?
No.
Oh, it's not your sister then.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Sam, would you rather shower in a public gym for a year or eat dinner alone for a year?
It's a good question. See, I don't like being alone. I'm quite extroverted, but I'd happily eat dinner while doing like work or something.
Yeah.
But can you repeat the question?
Yeah, would you rather shower in a public gym for a year or eat dinner alone for a year?
I think the public gym, because it would make me go to the gym if I've got to go every day.
That's true, actually.
But then again, would it result in me showering less?
Yeah, I was thinking that because imagine how much time out of my day it would have to take to like walk or travel to the gym just to go for a shower.
But yeah, I think you try like live at the gym.
Just live at the gym.
So the public shower, is it? I'm not sure if this would matter, but is it one of the showers where it's like a group shower? That's not the right term, but you know what I mean.
Wait, so that wouldn't matter to you whether you're showering alone or with a group of people?
No, I think it would. Obviously, I've got a big preference for showering alone.
I did not know where you're going with it.
It's not that kind of podcast.
It certainly is. It's gonna get there eventually, one way or another. So what was your answer?
So is it showering alone? I can't say the word showering.
Let's for the question's sake, yes, you are alone in the shower.
Okay.
If you don't,
I'd go with the gym one. I'd go with the gym one because dinner is a good opportunity to meet people, and it's nice to have dinner with someone.
Yeah.
And it would make me go to the gym more. What about you?
No, I think. See, at first I was thinking, eat dinner alone, because it would just waste so much time of my day just to having to travel to the gym and go for a shower. Whereas if I eat dinner alone for a year, I don't need to go anywhere. I don't waste any of my time. Yeah. But then you made a good point saying it would just encourage you to work out more. Like you work out every day. So I think I'd agree with you. I'd shower in a public gym for a year. But I think that pretty much concludes this these set of questions. So I saw this tweet recently from this teenage girl, and she was basically saying how she's fed up of lockdown now. There's nothing to look forward to, and she's not really doing anything productive. She hates life. She hates everything. But don't you think there's so much to do? You just got to really think outside the box. Like, imagine if for the next 100 years the humanity was in lockdown or in a pandemic. What, are we just all going to sit at home and do nothing? So was there anything else during lockdown that you started or maybe fueled an interest in something?
Started investing, and I think a lot of people have as well. Obviously, it's not a lot of money at all, but it's just really good to learn. Even if you're just using the practice accounts on something like Trading 212, it means in the future, when maybe you do have a wee bit of money, you don't need to take 5% off your £1,000 or £10,000 and pay it to a financial advisor.
People should really start learning how to invest at the very least, or even start investing. Even if I'm grateful enough to be in this position. Of course, not everyone has the money to invest. For if you lose £20 or something, so what? But the amount you gain and learn from that is priceless. Knowing how the market works, knowing how news affects the market, knowing the different asset classes you can invest into. I've
lost £20 on a stock before an investment, and it really did hurt. But I think if you are investing, the important thing to remember is never to invest what you can't afford to lose. So I put £10 in GameStop. It's not much, but it's what I can afford to lose. I know that it probably will go down. It's actually went down.
You jumped on the bandwagon as well.
Yeah. I mean, I got in before you.
Did you get the good or bad end of it?
It doubled in a day, but now it's down 60%.
Yeah, you sold it?
No, I've kept it. Have you?
Yeah, I've still got mine. It's down like scary now. It's like down maybe 70-80% right now.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Have you kept it all?
Have I? Yeah, I still got it. To the moon.
Yeah.
This just proves further why we're not giving financial advice on this podcast.
Yeah, definitely. I watched an interview with that guy on YouTube, Meet Kevin.
Kevin?
Yeah, Meet Kevin, his name is.
Meet Kevin.
Yeah, he's got like a few million subscribers now. He's really good. He did an interview with the CEO of Robinhood. It was really interesting what he's saying.
Yes, Robinhood got a lot of backlash for sure, didn't they? Because they suspended trading, or you couldn't sell your stocks. No, you could sell your stocks, but you couldn't buy GME or AMC.
Yeah, I think they limited it at a point, and Trading 212 in the UK did it as well.
You know what I recently found out though, or not found out? If you think about it, right, the likes of your Fidelities and your hedge funds, they ended up buying like millions and billions worth of GME.
Really?
And all these retail investors who thought, right, we're going to gather together and buy GME so that maybe one day we can pay off our student loans. But then altogether to take down these hedge funds and these holding companies. But yet these are the guys who actually ended up winning again in this whole situation.
Do you think if it wasn't for Robinhood, the retail investor would have won?
Yes and no, because at the end of the day, these hedge funds and these asset management firms, they really, the rich just ended up getting richer from this. I'm sure there's a lot of things that have been allegedly done behind the scenes, like your Robinhood and why they suspended trading, but it's very difficult to call because we don't know for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think it has changed Wall Street forever.
They're making a film about this.
Yeah, I saw that. Someone's got the rights. Who has the rights to the film?
I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be a very good cast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been reading. I read this LinkedIn post, right, of this guy I follow. His name is, now let me get his pronunciation right, Kevin Johannes Werner. I've followed him for quite a while now. He has a YouTube channel as well. He comes from a consulting background, and now he's in the venture capital space in China. But what he said was, and I want to know your thoughts on this, typically we associate that there are two paths that people can go down in life, and that's, the first one is you do a normal job, so your full-time job where you're working for someone else's money, or secondly you can start your own business. But Kevin thinks that there's a third path that people can go down. That is to take a more participating role in your so-called normal job, but also have a side hustle as well. And he thinks that everyone by the age of 30, or at least 30, should be doing this third option. What do you think about that?
Can you define side hustle? Do you mean like a project that they're working on the side?
Yeah, so for example, this guy, since he was like in his early 20s, he's been building this accelerator. An accelerator is similar to a venture capital firm. An accelerator basically, accelerator is like an incubator where they find young startups that they think could potentially be a bigger company or has potential.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
So that's like a side hustle, and he's networked with people about this, and they're interested in this idea and this project, so they work together on it. But yet he also has this so-called normal job where he's working for this venture capital firm in China.
Yeah, I agree. I think that in an ideal world, everyone should try to have a side hustle, even if it's just a few hours a week, something that you put half an hour into every week. But there are situations when it's not really feasible. So what would you say to someone who is 30, you said?
Yeah, 30.
And has just had a child, or has had a child, has children
that's true.
since their 20s. Yeah,
this guy doesn't have a kid.
So in an ideal world, then definitely. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build stuff.
Yeah, like this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
But except we're not in it for the money, because if we're in it for the money, why would we start a podcast?
Yeah, definitely. Have you got any side hustles apart from this? Would you call this a side hustle?
I mean, yeah, technically. Except we don't enjoy doing this, do we?
Yeah. No,
this is
we do it for our audience.
Sam and I don't speak with each other.
Yeah.
At all. Outside of the podcast.
No, never. Ever. Yeah, I didn't speak to James all summer. I actually blocked his number at one point.
No, we actually didn't though. Like, you're no longer joking. We actually didn't speak to each other for the whole summer.
Yeah, no, we didn't.
No.
Wait, did we?
We did not.
I'm sure we texted a wee bit.
I don't think we did.
Maybe.
I don't
think we did.
Yeah, this is literally the only hour we speak with each other. We get off the
hour
recording and we're like,
and then,
God, thank goodness.
Yeah, and it's all scripted.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell. I mean, you were speaking about touched upon the future there in 5 years' time or whatever. What is it that you'd like to get into?
Mhm.
What's your end goal?
That's a good question.
Because you said earlier that you wanted to go teach in China, and you're also doing this exchange in China. There's a lot of focus on the Asian market here. Is that something you'd like to get into in the future?
Yeah, so I graduate in 2023. I think you do as well.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do a graduate program, ideally in London or somewhere in Asia. I'm not really fussed where. And then hopefully after that, maybe 3 to 10 years doing that industry, then I'll have a wee bit of money that I can put towards my own project, because entrepreneurship is something which I'm really passionate about. I've always wanted to have my own business. It excites me, and it's nice not having anyone telling you what to do.
Yeah.
But I'd love to go to maybe China or India.
See, I know a guy actually that done an internship in India, and same guy actually, Kevin. We keep going back to Kevin. Kevin, who now works in China, he done an internship in India before, and he said the two countries are, like, even though they're both in Asia and geographically relatively close to each other, they're completely different on the business front. Like India, like, it's hectic, it's like free for all over there. And this guy Kevin, who's from Germany, he says he got on better in China because in Germany everything is like strict and structured and everything, and that's quite similar to the way China runs their businesses. And India is a bit more is a bit less structured, and it's also a developing economy as well right now. Yeah, the culture is totally different. So I think that's something to think about if you're deciding between those countries.
Sure. The culture is totally different. So they're my goals. I want to eventually end up in India or China, hopefully, working there. What are your goals, James?
We're talking short term or long term, like the end game or
end game.
End game. I'm like you. I'd like to work in a startup or start a startup eventually, but I'm not exactly sure. So I have this thing, right, where I have everything in my notes.
Yeah.
I don't know, even like what I'm having to eat tonight or what I'm gonna do in like a couple of weeks. I have like this 2-week rolling timetable. But then I also have like this goals and things I want to do in like 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. It's crazy.
Where do you keep this?
All in my notes on my phone.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
How long have you had it for?
Probably for a few years now. Because the way I do it is, like you said, do I have this end goal? Yes. And then I like reverse engineer it. So if I want to be there in 5 years, what have I got to do like 3 years time? And then if I want to be there in 3 years time, what do I have to do this year? And if I have to do that this year, what am I going to do this month, this week, today?
Okay, yeah, I think I understand. Would you be able to give an example?
For example, these internships that I've been applying to, this is ultimately leading towards where I want to work when I graduate. If you think about it like it was a set of dominoes lined up in a line, what tiles need to fall before the last domino tile, before I can get there? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so the 1 year goal is an internship. What's the domino that needs to fall for that to happen?
I want to get as much experience as I can and explore the industry right now whilst I'm at university.
What industry is that, sorry?
My 2 main interests at the moment is consulting and investment banking. That's ideally where I'd like to graduate into. But I'm still finding my footing here, and I've got some experiences coming up on the way this year, which I'm really excited about.
Like what?
I was lucky enough to be accepted onto 2 spring weeks for this April, actually. I don't know if I can say what firms they are. I'll say it. So I've got a Spring Insight Week at Bank of America coming up in April, Spring Insight at HSBC coming up in April as well, and a Morgan Stanley 13-week internship starting from June. So it's a busy year for me.
I assume it's all career goals, or is it non-career goals as well, personal goals?
It is everything. It's not just career goals, it's everything. There's a reason why I have it on my notes as well, because it's like a personal... Yeah. I don't want to say journal.
I've got one more question.
Okay.
I won't dive too deeply into your personal goals, but would an example be, by this age, I want to have a dog?
No.
Okay. Okay,
No.
I think I understand.
Not
Yeah.
that kind of thing. No.
Should we go on to our next Would You Rather?
Would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so would you take £1 million, but if you take the £1 million, you get chased by a murderous slug for the rest of your life, and if it touches you, you die instantly?
I take the $1 million.
For the slug?
Yeah. Yeah, I take the $1 million and have a slug chase me. But you know what?
What?
It's not like $1 million. Yes, of course, thank you. But I'm choosing the $1 million because I kind of like want a slug to chase me.
Is that something you've always wanted?
Yeah, ever since I've grown up. No, I just feel like it's kind of exciting. It's like thrilling.
Is
to have
it?
a slug chase you. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I think it's more stressful.
No, it's stressful for sure,
I mean,
but
maybe for a day you can just run away from the slug, but for the rest of your life,
yeah. But like, it's like a game.
what if
And like,
something happens?
how's the slug ever gonna catch me anyway?
Well, what if something happens? Hopefully not, touch wood. But say you get knocked out or something, or you faint, and you're unconscious for a few hours.
Well, does this slug have a GPS?
Yeah, it's not just searching around.
It's all right. So it's follow. It's like it knows where I am.
Yeah.
And it's like going at slug pace, basically.
Mm-hmm. It will find you.
Well, I don't know. There's benefits to it as well.
Is there?
Yeah, like I don't know. Maybe you're like on a first date or something, and it's not gone well. You're like, oh, sorry, I need to go. There's a slug chasing me, or I die.
Is that really your best excuse?
I mean, is it not? Like, I mean, Sam, imagine if we were on a date together.
It's my dream.
And I told you if this slug touches me, is like in the next table.
I'd help you. I'd come back with you to fight.
Wait, can't you just? If I tell you, then couldn't you just lock up the slug? It's done. It's done for. But then again, I wouldn't let you because
It's your slug.
I like the thrill. I mean, you could also switch it round and turn it into a good thing on a first date. You'd be like, I've got a slug chasing me. Sorry. Or let's say you're on a first date and a slug actually finds you. You're like, oh, sorry, I need to go. There's a slug chasing me. And then she's like, why is a slug chasing you, you weirdo? And you say to, oh.
But realistically, if you're on a date and the person you're on a date with says, look, James, I've got this slug chasing me, and if it touches me, it's going to kill me, would you believe them?
No, I'd be like, you weirdo.
Yeah, you'd want them to prove it, but they can't.
Yeah, and then they'd be like, I bagged a mill from it. I'll be like, alright, prove it.
Yeah, but there's so many other ways to get.
And she just brings out this suitcase of
And then you definitely stay in the date.
Because of the slug. I think.
Yeah.
Just because of the slug, not the money. Come on. If I was in it for the money, we wouldn't be doing this podcast.
Definitely. There's no money. Yeah.
All
next
right.
question.
That leads us on. Actually, led us on pretty well for my question. On a first date, Sam, would you rather have hiccups the entire time, or noticeably spill sauce on your shirt?
I like that one. Okay, I think I'd go for the sauce on my shirt because that's not that big a deal. And then if you've got hiccups, you can't eat your food. Well, you can, but it'll be a pain.
Dude, it would just ruin everything.
Metaphorically and literally. Imagine you're going in for a kiss and then,
Or you're about to eat, or you're speaking to like the waiter or waitress.
Yeah, can I get a fish? What would you do?
Yes, spill sauce on your shirt, and it's also a good way to see if they're a good one. Because if they're a good one, they wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm just imagining constantly having hiccups.
That'd be dire. Like, you can't get out.
It would hurt as well, wouldn't it?
No, literally, like it would consume your whole day if you had hiccups the whole time, because you can't have more than like a 5-second conversation. Whereas if you spill your sauce, you get on with it, deal with it, and get on with it.
Exactly. How big is the spillage?
I think we're talking like a full plate of like tomato sauce.
Oh, okay. I didn't realise. I thought it was a stain. That's a lot, but I'd still go with the sauce.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's all our questions for each other.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to cover today?
No, I think that's everything.
Okay, so anyways, that's us done for today on The Day Shift. We certainly have covered some interesting points. What an exciting first episode it has been. I'm glad to have you here, Sam.
Thanks, James. You can find myself and James on iTunes, Spotify and YouTube. Cheerio.
See you in a couple weeks, guys.